Every week, the Pike Road Patriots chase greatness under Friday Night Lights. And we bring you inside the huddle each week, right here at Dogwood Studios in Pike Road. This is Patriot Weekly with Coach Granger Shook, with your host Bill Lacomb. Presented by Brantley Bank and the shops at East Chase. Let's talk Pike Road football.
Patriot Nation, welcome into this week's edition of Patriot Weekly. Going to look and feel a little bit different this week. We're going to jump right in with Coach Shook. We're going to trim the fat and just get locked in and talk ball. We're going to recap Bessemer City. We're going to look ahead to Saraland, of course. So, Coach, look, man, very convincing win. Congratulations. Second round playoff game. We're missing two key players. Were you surprised that you took control so soon and that they just didn't seem to have any answers for us offensively or defensively? Did that surprise you, man? 21-0 in the first quarter. Wow.
Well, I was very, very pleased with how our boys responded. And they came out, believing in our game plan, came out and executed at a really high level. And you're proud of our staff, really in all three phases had excellent game plans. And we had a lot of players probably played their best game last week. And so really proud of our D-line, really proud of our offense for getting on the scoreboard and getting in the end zone so quickly and frequently early in the game. Really kind of sent a message to Bessemer City,
Sure did.
because they are a very good ball club. They came in 10-1, and beat a lot of good teams. And so really proud of how our boys stepped up and played. I thought, Miles Cottrey had a phenomenal game. Omari Owo had a great game as well. Gunner went, I think, 15 for 21, and Deller, who was very, very efficient. Elias stepped up, and, everybody's going to talk about his offensive performance. But he had a great tackle on our punt team. If he doesn't get him down, then there's a lot of grass outside of him. So
I know exactly.
we're really proud of Elias for what all he did. Gavin had a great game as well, and then defensively, we capitalized on certain things that we thought that they were going to do.
Sure.
And our defense really played well, starting with our D-line. So really proud of the overall team effort, and again, really excited that we get an opportunity to play again. And, our boys have showed up and with great attitudes and we'll trust the game plan again. And I'm excited about Friday night.
Indeed. Something I was thinking about earlier, Coach, I want to ask you, and I didn't even have this scripted, but you brought it up and I wanted to ask you. In the season, you always had us playing up to 7A. I said always. You had us 3 games playing up to 7A. And I noticed that Bessemer City would a lot of times play down to 5A. Are moments like that game, does that tell that story then as to the benefit of playing up versus playing down to 5A teams? You were ready for a bigger team, no problem. And they might have been ready for maybe a less equipped team. Do you see what I'm getting at? Like playing against the tougher guys. Did that matter in this situation?
Well, I believe it does. Yeah, I believe it does. Our mantra is about, connection over perfection.
Indeed.
You know what I mean? Do we want to win every game? Absolutely. That is our goal. But perfection is not the ultimate goal. Keeping the main thing, and making sure this team continues to grow closer together. And a lot of times, you grow closer together through adversity.
Sure.
And so scheduling those tougher opponents earlier in the year, helps us identify some issues, but it also allows our team to grow closer together. And so I think the scheduling has definitely helped us here late in the season.
Sure. Growing closer through adversity reminds me of Drew Brees' book. I read it some years ago, and it always stuck with me. You know what I mean? Just, going through those tough times make you, a better athlete, but also just a better person to bring closer together as a team. So thanks for bringing that up. Let's unpack Miles Cottrey a little bit more, if you don't mind, a.k.a. the boogeyman, as I call him, because anywhere he's on the field, man, this guy is a terror, So we talked about the 2 touchdowns that he had on offense, and he was a menace as usual on defense.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit more about this dude?
Man, he's just, first off, he's a great young man. Yes, sir. It doesn't matter what we asked him to do.
Yep.
I told the staff, after the game, heck, if we asked him to play center, he would down there and snap. And I bet he'd kill it. Yeah, so he's a jack of all trades, but he is a great young man.
Mm-hmm.
He has a great family. Been very, very supportive in his time here. But again, he is going to play football for a long time.
Yes, he is.
Not just because of his athletic ability, which he has a lot of it.
He does.
But just his attitude, his mentality, how he carries himself. He is a top-notch young man.
Indeed he is. And where's he committed to, Coach?
West Virginia.
West Virginia. Because they were getting a stud.
They are.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's talk about other players, Polo and Gavin, man. You know, we had Gavin on early in the season. I just love that guy. He's always had a special place in my heart because I think he's got a great head on his shoulders. He's a great competitor, and you can just tell he's a dog. You know, he loves to play ball. Of course, Polo too. Polo's been on the team, and he's just a character that can ball out too. Both had an interception. They're receivers technically on our depth chart. Can you talk about that and how they can play offensively and defensively as well?
Polo played, you know, he's probably more at home at corner, but we put him at safety, you know, for certain situations, and he definitely took advantage of it. Had a huge pick, you know, early in the game.
Mm-hmm.
They were deep in our territory, and again, he was where he was supposed to be when he was supposed to be there. Capitalized on it. And again, Gavin had some great catches. He had some huge blocks on the perimeter. He did great in special teams as well. So so very, very proud of those two young men and just how they came ready to play. And when their moment was called, they capitalized on it. So again, that just goes back to who they are, and it goes back to their preparation.
That's right. Yep. You mentioned special teams twice. Yeah, let's talk about special teams. I'm a huge fan of our special teams, man. Like, to me, I always talk about our O-line, and D-line, always the guys in the trenches. They're the unsung heroes. But also special teams, man. Like, we have some lights-out players, and they're playing, you know, at a high level on special teams. Can you talk about them a little bit?
Absolutely. I mean, Camden is only a freshman.
Yep.
But man, he's got an electric leg. Yes, and he's able to pin them deep on our kickoff unit. Our entire unit did a great job. They helped create a turnover, you know, which gave our offense a short field.
Yeah.
And so that was huge early in the game. Helped us seize momentum and really didn't let go of it, you know, the rest of the game. You know, I was very proud of Warren. Warren came in and on punt, and Warren pinned him deep. As I was very, very proud of him. And of course, Connor Hall did a great, you know, as far as on our extra points. You know, he was just solid, you know, and Chase came in and held and did a really good job, you know. So it was a total team effort really in all three phases. And so those guys were able to step up and make plays when we needed them.
Yeah, big shout out to Warren again. But
Yeah.
that was awesome. We saw him come in.
Yeah.
And, you know, and our special teams was playing so well. We were able to kind of take a minute and kind of have like a little moment with our listeners on the air and describe the importance of special teams and the, you know, your punting game, you know, just pinning your, you know, opponent back and giving you field position and being able to explain that.
Yeah.
So they put on a clinic. They really did a great job.
Really. Yeah. And, you know, when you have injuries, you know, typically the first chink in the armor is usually in the special team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because those guys were crucial in those roles too. But we had some young players come in and step up and really capitalize on that opportunity. So proud of everybody.
Yeah, I was proud of everybody too. Yeah. Special teams, man. Gotta love one. So, Coach, we're gonna wrap up this segment. But what does this win tell you about this team as we continue on into the gauntlet of the playoffs, man?
Man, our boys are resilient. And our staff is too, you know, and our staff's been very creative and was creative last week and getting guys the ball, you know, and I think other teams are going to see that you can't just focus on one or two guys, that there's a lot of playmakers out there.
Absolutely.
You know, as long as we continue to practice the way we're supposed to practice, as long as we continue to show up with the right attitudes, man, I'm really excited about the future of this team, you know. And so again, Bessemer City was a really good football team.
Yeah.
Record shows it, but
Sure.
And our boys came ready to play and executed from start to finish.
Indeed, they did.
Yep.
Coach, again, congrats. Very convincing second-round playoff win. Can't wait to see our Patriots again this Friday night back at home, which has been pretty cool because during a regular season, we haven't had a bunch of, you know, home games. So I feel like, you know, the Lord's kind of paying us back right now, you know. So thank you, Jesus, for that one. So, Coach, you mind sticking around and talking about Saraland a little bit? Absolutely. Just a second.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Folks, we'll be right back. Take a look ahead at this week's third-round playoff matchup. Stick around. You don't want to miss it. Coach Shook in the house, y'all.
I'm Granger Shook, head football coach for your Pike Road Patriots. I want to give a big thank you to the shops at East Chase, Montgomery's premier shopping destination, for supporting Pike Road football and sponsoring Patriot Weekly. Just like we bring our best to the field every Friday night, East Chase brings the best in shopping, dining, and family fun to our community.
Check out all the stores East Chase offers online, and when you visit them, thank them for supporting your Pike Road Patriots.
Go Patriots!
This week's Patriot Weekly is proudly brought to you by Brantley Bank, your community partner in Pike Road. I'm Ray Kaiser, your Town of Pike Road president. We're located right outside Public on Vaughn Road. At Brantley Bank, we're built on hospitality. We make banking easy, local, and welcoming. So whether you're saving for something special, managing your business account, looking to make a loan, or just stopping by on the way home from the store, Brantley Bank is right here for our Pike Road community, bringing hometown pride to the end zone.
Patriot Nation, welcome back. Coach Shook still in the house here. I'm going to take a look at Saraland here, this week's third-round playoff matchup that'll be played again at our stadium. Stoked about that. So, Coach, let's just open it up. Give us an overview of Saraland, man. What can we expect from them?
Well, first off, they have a great staff. Jack Kelly always does a great job of getting his boys prepared. You know, they are very dynamic on the perimeter, really on both sides of the ball. Sure. You know, they have a very elite wide receiver core. Running back runs exceptionally hard. He's a big play threat. Their quarterback is actually a dual threat guy. Okay, so he does an excellent job of going through his progressions. If he gets flushed, man, he is a good enough athlete that he can make you pay. Yep. You know, so we got to be really, really sound up in the box. Make sure that our D-line stays in their lanes, making sure that our backers are gap sound as well. And we got to do a great job in the back end of having eye and assignment discipline. So, again, they can present several issues if we're not lined up properly or not on the same page as far as communicating what the call is on all three levels. So, again, they have scored a lot of points this year, so, it's going to be a huge test for our defense. And so I think our defense has been playing really well. So I'm excited about that matchup. But again, we have to play really good on that side of the ball. Offensively, for our offense and their defense, their D-line is really long. Okay. They can really cover a lot of ground. Their linebacker core is really second to none. Right. They have two dudes back there that are going to be playing D1 football. Wow. And they can cover sideline to sideline. And then, their secondary, they have had some, I think, an injury bug as well. So those, two of their really elite wideouts are playing DB some. So I think for a few guys to play both ways. So, but again, they're going to have a great plan. Their staff does a great job. And I believe in our plan as well. So I think it's going to be a really physical four-quarter football game.
Gotcha. Do you think they have a Stuart Lowry on their team? Like, are they going to be as conditioned as we are and be ready to go toe-to-toe with us, man?
Coach Lowry does a great job. I think he's second to none. Cool. He is good friends with their strength coach. Okay. They do a lot of the same things we do, and so I think it's going to be, a very, very fun environment to be in. It's going to be two of the best teams in the South, left. There's only 4 teams in the South left. So again, it's our boys are biting at the bit, for Friday night.
I bet they are biting at the bit to get going. You get a real good high level, look at their offense and also their defense. Anything that we can kind of lift the hood on and talk about how specifically their offense will match up with our stellar defense. Any key players that we need to be looking for.
The Spencer kid, he's number 2 for them. Okay. The ball goes through him a lot. He's very dynamic with the ball in his hand, but their staff does a great job of moving him around. Sometimes he's on the perimeter, sometimes he's at running back. Okay. Sometimes he's in the slot. You know what I mean? Sometimes they put him in motion just to see what kind of coverage you're in, zone or man. But again, he is going to be around the ball a lot. Their running back number 4 runs the ball really hard. Mm-hmm. He's a very physical runner. Their O-line does a great job of opening up holes for him and protecting their quarterback. But again, their quarterback is very dynamic. He has a laser arm. He can put the ball pretty much wherever he wants to on the field. He can make any throw on the field, And again, like I said, if those things are covered, if he doesn't have any options, he can tuck it and run. Yeah. So we have to be very disciplined on defense to execute, and we got to play well.
Yeah. One thing we noticed in doing a little research, of course, about this week coming up, they can run the ball, yeah, but they like to pass. They're heavy passing, So making any adjustments, you don't have to tell specifics, Coach, I guess, on this, but any adjustments we're making to make sure that we are just laser locked in on this guy. You mentioned he can throw it, he can tuck it and run it. You know what I mean? Any major adjustments you're making there, or is it just how we play?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to do what we do.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you say that.
We have, a multiple defense. I think we have guys who can play at different spots on the field. So we'll have the flexibility to play a 4-man front or a 3-man front,
okay.
And so just pending on the situation and pending, personnel, will dictate what we call.
Yeah, we noticed that. I think you started with a 3-man and you went to a 4-man there as we were kind of watching. We talked about that too. So we love the different looks that you're throwing at and, causing confusion and disruption. So let's talk about their defense a little. Their defense versus our offense. Gunnar Gibbs, man, he's playing lights out. Our receivers are doing well. We got some guys that can run the ball. It seems like everybody can do everything on our team. How do we match up against their defense with our offense?
Well, I think it's a good matchup. I think up front, our O-line has got to play better.
Yeah,
our O-line didn't play real well last week.
Okay,
now that had a lot to do with who Bessemer City was. They had 2 elite D linemen. That were giving us fits.
Big boys. I remember seeing them. Yeah.
Saraland has the ability to do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So our O-line, has had a good week so far. I expect them to play better.
Sure.
I expect a running back by committee, so to speak. Again this week. And again, I expect for us to try to get the ball out, to as many different guys as we can, just so they can't focus on 1-3.
Sure.
And so I'm excited about the matchups. We are going to have to play well on offense.
Sure.
I was proud of how we came out and played last week against Bessemer City,
mm-hmm.
but there was a little lull kind of in the middle of the game. We can't afford for that to happen.
No,
we have to play 4 quarters, up to our standard, and so that's going to be big for us, to try to keep and limit their touches on offense.
Yeah. Sounds like they're one of these teams that we just make any kind of minor mistake they may make us pay for it. So we got to play discipline. We got to play just no mistake football. Where's the team's mind at right now after that win? They're excited. And like I said last week, you to get a big win like that, you almost kind of want to go and catch your breath. We don't have time for that. So I know you don't let them. You don't let them. Get away with that, if you will. But where's their mind? Where's their heads at right now?
I truly think that we're in a good spot.
Yeah, good.
I think our boys are believing. Our boys have bought in.
Yep, they sure have.
There's a lot of excitement in our locker room. Weight room has been really good this week.
Yeah,
and so again, I'm excited, and our boys are excited that we get to go against one of the best teams in the state.
Sure.
And see where we match up. And so it's going to have to be a really disciplined game for us. But again, I'm excited that our boys are still playing.
Gotcha. Final thoughts that you want to kind of share with us here?
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to encourage, the Pike Road fans to come out,
absolutely,
and come out and be loud.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Let's create a home field advantage.
Yeah,
for our boys. You know what I mean. I think our band does a great job. Our cheerleaders do a great job. But I do want to encourage and challenge our fans to come out and be loud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. And our sideline will feed off of it, and then our guys on the field will feed off of it. So again, our boys have been working really hard. And again, I'm excited that we get to play at home again on Friday night.
Amen. Me too, man. Yeah, excited. Yeah. So you guys heard it, man. Coach is saying, show up, get loud, get raucous. Everybody behave yourself. Of course, but make a lot of noise. You're part of this too. You as the community are part of this championship run too. So just keep that in mind and get loud and be proud of your Patriots. So remember, if you can't make it to the game, catch us on NFHS. As everybody knows, we'll be there with Pike Road Live. We're just excited to see everybody on Friday nights. Coach, man, thank you as always for coming in. And we'll see you Friday night. See you on to another game versus Saraland. There you go. You know what I'm going to say? Go Patriots.
That's a wrap for this week's Patriot Weekly, filmed right here at Dogwood Studios in Pike Road. Big thanks to our sponsors, Brantley Bank and the shops at East Chase, for making it all possible. We'll see you next time, Patriot Nation. And as always, go Patriots.